This Cowboys mailbag is made possible by Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming also have some fantastic beard hedger and trimming tools. So get 20% off and free shipping with promo code COWBOYS over at manscaped.com. A bunch of super thanks to get to from Wayness. Thanks. Hey, Tom, longtime viewer, first-time thankser. I love it. What scenario is more likely? Jake Paul becomes world boxing champ by 2026. Producer Chris is laughing at that one. Or Dak is MVP and Super Bowl champ this season. Love you, bud. Thank you very much, Wayness. All of Jake Paul's fights are rigged. Prove me wrong. Look, he's in great shape. It is rigged to get the first round in and then get the rematch. I do not believe they are real fights. They're pulling some punches, making sure Jake Paul wins to get the money in there. I don't think it's real, so he's not going to be the actual world boxing champ. Therefore, give me Dak. Now, super thanks. You'll see a lot of these on today's mailbag. It's just like a super chat, but instead of a live show, it's an on-demand video. You can go click that little heart with the dollar sign in the middle, edit your message, send it. Any super thanks we get, we will give you a shout-out here on the Cowboys Report. Xylophone, how has Hunter Luepke looked in practice? Does he make the roster? It's been pretty quiet. I think he's just behind guys like Davis, Dowdle, and Vaughn. There's only so many reps to go around. So fairly quiet for Luepke, but a real chance to impress in the Cowboys' first preseason game, which we will be live for. Cowboys versus Jags on Saturday. We will have an entire watch party, pregame show, postgame show. Got a giveaway plan for you guys as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. $2 super thanks from DeWand Alexander. What do you think about Jose Barbon from Temple? What are your thoughts? So this came in earlier last week. I think it was on a Tuesday or something. Hadn't seen much. He's flashed a couple of times since then. I responded to the comment of I haven't seen much. Then he had a nice catch a day later. So a little bit more preseason will also matter a lot for him. Blood Slinger, a bunch of super thanks from my guy here. Love your show. Offensive line didn't look good either for the blue and white scrimmage. Parsons was in the backfield over and over. I know he's great, but where was the offensive line? It's a great question. I am worried about the offensive line. That's the spot that concerns me the most on offense. If your O-line's bad, impacts your quarterback, impacts your ground game, your receivers, tight end, everything. So part of it is Micah's great. They've been sitting, pitch counts for Tyron Smith and Terrence Stiller. There's no Zack Martin. So I'm more worried about the depth than the starters, but it is a very valid area of concern. Now, with that in mind, Micah looks awesome, and I don't want to give him any. I want to make sure he gets his credit too. So how many sacks will Micah Parsons have this year? Is it 16? 20? It's the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. Another one from Blood Slinger. Thanks again. Didn't see Ronald Jones play either. Don't think he's going to make it. Yeah, Ronald Jones has a groin injury. He's going to miss some time. He's suspended for the first 2 games, so he probably doesn't get cut at roster cutdown time. Won't count against the active roster, but he might not actually play for the Cowboys. It's been a rough camp for him so far. Bloodslinger, again. Thanks again and again. Not impressed with Fehoko. Tolbert, Brooks, and Drummond are better. He might go too. Tolbert and Brooks are definitely in front of him. Haven't seen much of Dontario Drummond. That might change in the preseason game, but look, that 6th receiver spot, because it's Tolbert's 4, Turpin's 5 right now, has to help on special teams. I think Brooks has the edge there. And one more from Bloodslinger. Thanks. After watching the blue and white, serious concern about the kickers. Both were terrible during the mojo moments. The kickers have been replaced, or at least one of them has been. Tristan Vizcaino has been cut. He was the worst in the mojo moment. The mojo moment in the scrimmage was about a 60-yard try with the wind against them, so that the adjusted was 60 yards. Tough kicks, but yeah, kickers have not been great so far. Maybe that changes in the first preseason game. It's also fair to wonder, is this Cowboys kicker actually on the roster? I'm not so sure. What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Is the Cowboys kicker actually on the roster right now? From Scott P., thanks to the Cowboys do re-sign Ezekiel. $2 super thanks, by the way. What happens to his dead cap hit? Basically nothing. The cap hit stays as it's a great question. It basically becomes, instead of a release and eat the dead money, it's kind of a pay cut is what it ends up being. You're still going to pay him the $1 million, $2 million, whatever he'd make this year. Dead cap hit stays the same. So it ends up being, instead of a release of the savings, it's a pay cut of the savings from that perspective. Good question, though, Scott. Today's show is made possible by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code COWBOYS over at manscaped.com. They are the best in men's grooming products, and Cowboys fans only deserve the best since we don't get it on the field somehow. Lawnmower 4.0 is the best for below the waist. The Beard Hedger is the best for above the chin. Plus, it has the most comfortable boxers known to mankind. Look, it's summer. It's hot. Make sure you're looking smooth and feeling smooth and skate from pubes to bum. Manscaped.com, promo code COWBOYS gets you 20% off and free shipping. All right, some super chats here. I'm completely fine with paying Dak. That's who the him is here. However, I don't think he's worth resetting the market. I would be inclined to agree. I don't think you have to give Dak a $55 million a year deal. It could even be like $10 million less than that is maybe closer than the 55. So I agree. I don't want to have him totally reset the market, but I do think he's worth extending. From Eddie Joe, extend Israel Mukuamu now. It's your money. You need it now, right? If he has the breakout year I'm hoping for, he will cost a lot more after the season. I agree. I'm excited about Israel Mukuamu, but the NFL CBA says you cannot. You have to be 3 years removed to get paid. So much like Micah Parsons can't get paid yet, Mukuamu can't get paid yet either. Mark Hava, Spain, mentioning the biggest bust in Cowboys history. He says Russell Maryland, first overall pick, had to get Casillas as Maryland did not even suit up for a bit and was very okay, much like Ebenezer Ekubon. I still might go with a Bobby Carpenter instead of Russell Maryland, but Maryland didn't have the best results in terms of like first overall pick expectations. So I don't hate that selection there, Mark. Might not be the one I go with, but it's a decent kind of under the radar name. A $10 super chat from Will Marshall. It's aggravating. We have to talk kicker, Zack Martin, missing free agent piece at this point. Is JJ really pushing all in, knowing the stadium sells out regardless? Tired of coming up short. I have yet to see a super chat from Will Marshall that doesn't speak directly to me. And I completely agree again. We're talking kicker. And I'm okay with the kicker plan more than others. Like, your best option might come available at roster cutdown time, so you can be a bit patient there. It's fine. But Zack Martin, shouldn't get that one done. You haven't spent in free agency for a while. They're not pushing all in because they want to be in that 10-win range every year, every single year. They'd rather have 5 straight 10-win seasons than 3 12-win seasons and take an 8-win season. That's their mindset, which I just don't agree with because you're right, Will. I am tired of coming up short. Now, preseason football is here. It's underway. The NFL Hall of Fame already happened, and we'll have the Cowboys preseason game right here. So predict the Cowboys preseason record. Go vote for me in the comments section right now. From Turner Boys by Dak Prescott, why does Stephen A. Smith, LaShawn McCoy, Joy Taylor, and Chris Russo hate Dak so much? Because it is their job to get you riled up. Stephen A. Smith is not a ball knower. He's a talking head. LaShawn McCoy is an eagle. He just wants to upset Cowboys fans. Joy Taylor is trying to get a reaction out of you. Chris Russo is he's a screaming head, just like Stephen A. Smith. Those guys don't actually care. They just want to get the attention and reaction and the engagement that comes with hating on the Cowboys. Cole Haggard, then, if we're able to, the super chats that came in from Mark and Chris B here. Do you think Zack Martin, or do you think getting Zack Martin to top 3 offensive guard money around $18 million a year gets him to camp? And if so, what does that extension look like? I think it might. Look, I don't have the deep information there in terms of what the situation is, of what Martin really wants. Does he just want more guaranteed money? Let's ride. Does he want a slight raise for 2 years? I'm probably fine with that. Maybe you can get creative and restructure it and be creative with the way you structure the deal. I would like it, but I do think some more money would get him to show up. I'm not sure Dallas is going to is going to make that happen, though. From Mark, $5. It all comes down to injuries between us, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. The NFC is weak. Dak is a bus driver, which makes the occasional play, which is fine. We have a ton of talent. I think he's better than a bus driver. But if you were to rank the NFC quarterbacks, even if you take Jalen Hurts first, who are you taking next? It's Dak. Stafford isn't healthy and has had one good year the past couple seasons, by the way. Kyler Murray's not healthy and also was a disaster last year. Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins is just like a discount Dak, so it's Dak is second best. I agree. I think you're right, Mark. Comes down to injuries. Dallas, Philly, San Francisco, once again. For Mark, is Brooks, and I think this is Jalen Brooks, undrafted and a stud still in college. So I assume we're talking about Jalen Brooks here. 7th-round pick out of South Carolina. He didn't play that much in college. He wasn't that impactful. In fact, Brooks was talking about how his job was special teams for the Cowboys. Now he's out here making plays. I think the Cowboys have been happily surprised with what they've gotten so far out of Jalen Brooks, but we'll have to wait and see if that materializes beyond just practices and into games. Chris B., if Dak wants to reset the market, what do you do? I pitched on our rumors video the other day, go with the extension for like 4 to 5 years. So I would either do a fake extension if you would go for it of like, hey, we're going to give you, a 4-year deal, massive APY, but the final year of the deal that's like $70 million isn't guaranteed, and it bumps up to reset the market, but it doesn't, so it's kind of a fake extension, and you bail after 3 years. Or I would up my timeline and try to win this year, next year, and then blow it up. I don't really want to make Dak a $55 million per year player, but I would want to know how the nitty-gritty extension details are. Because if you only tie yourself to 3 years and it's not, at that point, it's not the 55 per year that comes later on in the deal, I can get away with that.